everyone, and welcome back to Round 7 coverage of the 2019 Croatia Grand Chess Tour. We're here with a special guest, Henrik Carlsen, the father of Magnus Carlsen, to be sure. Henrik, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We know you are maybe your son's greatest fan, along with his mom. What is it like watching him playing an individual game? Have you gotten used to the nerves seeing your son in battle?
Well, I was a bit nervous already when he played the under 11 20 years ago. But I guess it's been a gradual development where the importance of the game have developed, while I've also become slightly used to it. So now it's more the World Championship matches, that's pretty tense. But otherwise, I'm coping well, I think.
Excellent. You have seen him develop in different ways, as you mentioned. There was a time when he was winning everything a few years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Then he had a bit of a lull. But now, Magnus is back and looking even stronger than ever. What happened?
Well, if we go back to the last period when he was doing so well, I think it took us some time to appreciate how much everything had been working together for him, really. That he had to kind of be extremely focused and determined, not by discipline, just by sheer will and interest and enthusiasm in each and every game, and at the same time play with low shoulders and kind of draw upon the intuition he had practiced so much at home without thinking about the outcome of the game. So, and in addition to that, he was quite sportive. He was a happy young man in every respect. So, I think I could mention a lot of factors that all really pull together. And then if there are one or two of these that are a little bit out of sync, then it's difficult to perform at your kind of theoretical max, which I think Magnus probably did 5-6 years ago, close to his, at that time, theoretical max. And now, I think he's gradually understood what it takes, and he now he's so focused and determined to show his best. And it's been a gradual development now over the last 12 months or so. He's been gradually kind of getting closer to where he wants to be. It's, of course, extremely difficult to maintain this, but also over the last year, things have been working together. The factors have been working together. So that I think already back in the World Championship match, he played quite well. It's just that he was up against a formidable and extremely well-prepared opponent. So it was such a tough match.
Wow, that's a great explanation. Best I've heard from anyone, and you should know. There's something about the human side of Magnus. A lot of people see him as a professional player, or we interview him, and he has to maintain a certain facade. I'm curious about the human side. Is it anything that you or the family members might see Magnus do, and you think, okay, people think people know of him as the best player in the world, the world champion, a straight genius, and we're like, how did he do that?
Well, there's plenty of things, but I'm not going to tell you anything.
Right. A politically correct answer. I'm sure Magnus wouldn't appreciate too much reveal. You did tell me a story that I could find quite funny. I think the fans are going to find interesting. Is about your own feeling that maybe you could work really hard and become a strong player, and Magnus and his second had a little bit of a reaction to that.
Yeah, I think, okay, my wife is very down to earth. She is here as well, keeping us all down to earth in a way, but I'm also considered a fairly level-headed guy, from what I understand. But in the situation you mentioned, I clearly needed a reality check, because they talked about what it would take for a kind of a genius in his 20s to reach the top in chess. And some people thought maybe 10 years of full focus would do the trick. While Magnus and Peter Heinesen, no, in your 20s, it's too late. Come on, it takes a lot. And I said at some point, well, even I could become a GM or an IM if I spent 10 years full time, and that was the mission of my life. And they looked at me, no. And then, what about FM then? And then, well, that didn't draw too much enthusiasm either. So maybe I should be happy to be kind of not take chess too serious and play the coffee house style.
And it's funny when your son is putting you in your place. A final question for you. Do you ever project, looking ahead, how he'll do, or do you just let him be? Like, he's now the man that he is, and however he does in tournaments, that it's his job now, not yours to worry about.
I think I used to say that at least for 15 years, he's performed well above anything I could expect or hope for as a father. So, I mean, these bonuses has kept coming, and I shouldn't turn out expectations. I mean, it's his chess. I love to be there and support him if he wants to, but it's his chess, and of course I shouldn't have ambitions on his behalf.
Well, wonderful dad you have been, clearly raising an extraordinary son. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Henrik Carlsen, the dad. Oh, you didn't have to run away. We like each other. He actually doesn't mind me at all. Henrik Carlsen, the dad of one Magnus Carlsen. Clearly, he and mother and family have done a fantastic job.
Thank you, Maurice. Quick question for Henrik. I absolutely love the documentary on Magnus called Magnus.
Yes.
It's refreshing because Hollywood always depicts chess players as nerds, and it was a great documentary. Henrik, if I could get your thoughts on the documentary, and did Magnus like it?
So Yasser's asking about the documentary that was done on Magnus, and he really enjoyed it. He's wondering what your take was on it, and did Magnus himself enjoy the documentary, the documentary Magnus that was done?
I think it wasn't as bad as he had feared, but I think while he went into it with open eyes and if maybe not enthusiastic, he kind of gradually felt that it was giving too much of himself. So, and I think that's the case for everyone. You don't want to kind of show your innermost feelings to the broader world to a certain extent. So in that sense, he was not 100% comfortable with it. But I think the result is okay.
All right, thank you very much.